Hello, and welcome back to Assignment 8. This is video 4 on Assignment 8. So let's get started. Let's just review what we've done so far. The first 3 videos, please watch those first before watching this last video. We created our class. We created an array for our objects, and we have done a few of the menu options. Are able to add a veggie to the list. So we can add a veggie to the list, assume the user is going to put in a unique ID, and the user is going to enter the right kind of information. And we can display the list. We have not done yet comparing the selling price, but you can pick that option. We haven't implemented it yet, and we haven't implemented 3, 4, or 5 because before we implement those, we need to be able to search for one, right? So it doesn't matter which one of those you pick, you need to be able to search for a veggie. So now let's get started on our search. So in our array, we want to search uh, with the right ID. So I'm just going to open up here PowerPoint and do a little drawing of searching an array of objects. Leave the code here while this loads. Okay, so all right. So let's draw a picture here. We have our array. I don't really like red, but this is our array of objects. Let me change the color here to yellow. Okay, so this is our list. These are veggies. So in here, this veggie is going to have a unique ID. This one's going to have a unique ID. This one's going to have a unique ID. Each one of these has a unique ID, and this could be a carrot. This could be a bean. This could be celery. And this could be uh, um, I don't know how to spell cauliflower, so we'll just pick another kind of bean. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so we have our veggies here. Each one is unique. Each one has a unique ID. This is index 0, 1, 2, 3. So count is going to equal 4. So what we want to do is we want to write a loop that's going to say for int I equals 0, I less than count, and we're going to compare. We're going to go one by one through each one, I plus plus, and we're going to compare. We're going to say if list at index I dot ID equals the target ID. So target ID is going to be the target ID. So say, for example, our target ID is 2, then is 222. If our target ID is 222, then we found a match here. So this is going to be our index. That's what we want to find. We want to find the index. So we're going to search one by one through each object in the list. And if we find a match, then we're going to return I, because we don't want to return the ID. We want to return the location. So if it's 222, the location would be 1. If it's 65, if target ID is 65, then I is going to be 3. That's where it's going to find it, right? So it's going to search through each one, compare, list at index I. Now, the thing is, this isn't going to work because it's not a friend function. So we can't use .id here. We have to use list at index I dot, we're going to have to call the accessor function, right? So if our accessor function is get ID. So we can't actually access the ID directly because it's a private member variable, but we can access the ID by using the accessor function. So this is not going to work unless we were doing it searching inside of our class, but we're not searching inside of our class and we're not using a friend function to search. We're just going to use a regular programmer defined function to do the search. And if we find it, we will return this. If after searching through the entire list, we've searched through, this is the end of the loop right here, and we do not find a match, then we will return 0. Why? Because in my case, I'm going to return the first one on the list. If it's not found, I'm going to return the first one on the list. So if it is found right away, then it will return a 0 because I will be 0. If after searching through the entire list and you do not find a match, so say for example, the target ID is 21, it's going to search. This is not a match, not a match, not a match, not a match. So then when I reach location 4, this becomes false because you can't say 4 is less than 4. So it's not going to continue. The loop will finish. And after the loop finishes, it's going to return the first one in the list. So that's the way I'm deciding to do it. So let's look at the code for that. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the code. So that's how we're going to find it. Then once in order to find it, we're going to have to display first because you want to display and show the user which ones to pick from. So we have a couple of functions that are going to help us with our search. So if we go here, we have here the select veggie. This is going to display the list and have the user enter the ID to get the target ID. Then the find veggie list is going to do what I just showed you with the drawing in PowerPoint. It's going to take the list, the number of items in the list, and that ID and go one by one through and compare. And it's going to return not the index, but it's going to actually return the vegetable, the entire vegetable. So in that case, let's go back to our PowerPoint here. And what's going to happen here with the loop is we have our list here. So we have this ID is 222. Oh no, I think it was 111. 111, 222, 101, 444. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Count equals 4. So our loop will say 4, I equals 0, I less than count, I plus plus. Then we want to say if target ID. So we've already gotten the target ID. We're going to display it and get the target ID equals list at index I dot get ID because it's a private member variable. So we get the ID, we see if we found it. If we found it, we're not going to return the index. We're going to actually return the entire vegetable. So if the target ID was 101, we're going to return this vegetable. So you're just going to return, the return type is vegetable. You're going to return list at index I. This is a list at index I is a vegetable. So you're going to return the entire vegetable. If after searching all the way through and you don't find it, you're going to return list at index 0. So we're not going to return the index. We're going to actually, the return type of the function will be vegetable or whatever your object is. So you're not going to return just the index number. You're going to return the entire vegetable. So let's go here and look at the code. All right, so back here with the code. All right, so we have the two functions here. We have our select the veggie function and find the selected veggie function. So we have to add our function prototypes. We have the select the veggie. This one is going to take the list and display it so that the user can select which one they want. So it's going to return, this is going to return the ID number that the user picks. And then this one is going to take that ID that the user picked, the target ID. This is the target ID. And it's going to return the vegetable that matches the target ID. If it's not found, it will return the first veggie in the list. So let's do the select first. Alrighty. So the select function looks like this. You're just going to display the list, ask the user to give you an ID, get the ID, and return it. So let's test it and see if it works. So from here, we're going to, we'll try it here on our calculate. Let's do the calculate profit first. So we're going to declare one veggie. We're going to declare an ID. Oh, we can't do the purchase because that's a whole nother function. So we're not going to do that here. We'll do the select here. We're going to declare two veggies. We're going to have an ID for the first veggie, and we're going to select it, and then we're going to have an ID for the second veggie. So to make sure that it works, we're going to say cout the ID, you entered was ID. All right, so we're going to do this twice because we need to get two veggies. Ugh, there we go. Okay, so we need to get two veggies, so we're going to do this twice. So let's select the ID twice. We can reuse the variable because we're going to use it to find it, but we just want to make sure the select veggie ID function works as expected before we continue. So the logic here, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to select from our menu number 3. Then we're going to declare two veggies, and then we're going to give an ID, and then we're going to see out that we selected that ID. Then we're going to do another one, and we're going to see out that we selected that ID. Once we feel confident that our select veggie ID function works, then we can do the find selected veggie. So let's build it and see that that works. Okay. All right, so I'm going to pick number 3. Okay, so now we're comparing two veggies, so we're got to enter an ID, 222. The ID you entered was 222 and 333. The ID you entered was 333. So I'm confident that uh, my function here that I've implemented to select the veggie ID, I'm confident that that is working as expected. So now I'm going to do my next function, which is going to be to find the selected veggie. So this is what I just drew the PowerPoint. This is where you're going to have your array, and the array is going to try to find a selected veggie. So you're going to have your array like, oh, I guess it doesn't work with this pen. Okay, well, I already drew it in the PowerPoint. So again, we're going to take in our list. Count is the number of items in our list. This is the ID. So this is the target ID. So we're going to go through one by one through each veggie in the list. We have to use our accessor function because this is not a friend function or a member function, and we're going to compare. That means that we found it. Then we're going to display that we found it just so that we can double test. And then we're going to return the veggie that we found. Now, if we don't find it, we're going to return the first veggie in the list. All right, so we're going to do this again on selection number 3. So we're going to go back to our function here with the process selection, and we're going to do selection here. So here's where we're going to get our 2 veggies. So let's test it and make sure that it works as expected. All right, so on selection 3, all right, I'm going to enter an ID 111. No, I'm going to do 222. 222, it should be spinach. Yep, that's what it found. Now, if I enter 101, it's not in the list, so it should return the carrot. So the veggie was not found, so it's going to return the carrot. Okay, so I feel confident that that's working as expected. This is another function, so we're not going to do that yet. We're going to select our veggies. We're going to select our 2 veggies for this function as well. So in this function, we're going to have to select 2 veggies. And in this function, we're going to select 1 veggie. Okay, so this one we only need 1 veggie. So I'm just showing you what I have done here. On the choice of 3, I have to select 2 veggies. So I'm going to have veggie 1 that I'm going to compare with veggie 2. I haven't done this function yet. On choice 4, I also need to select 2 veggies. So I have veggie 1 that I'm going to calculate the difference from veggie 2. So the nice thing here is this should just work. I don't need to call a function to do that. It's just going to calculate the difference of veggie 1 and veggie 2. So now my option 4 is completed. My calculate profit function is going to find 1 veggie. And after I find that 1 veggie, I'm going to need another function. So I only need 2 more functions now. I need one to make a purchase and calculate the profit, and I need another function that's going to compare the cost of 2 veggies. So let's make sure that this all works as expected before I add my other functions, because if I did something wrong along the way, I might not be able to locate the issue. When I do 3, I get 2 veggies. If I do 4, I'm able to look for 2 veggies and it calculates the difference. See this? That's done. My option 4 is done. If I hit option 5, I can get a veggie. Okay, so now I just need to do the last 2 items. So the first thing I'm going to do is compare my 2 veggies. Obviously, you're going to be doing something that's a little different, but I have 2 more functions. I just have my make a purchase and compare veggies. So let's take a look at the prototypes and what these 2 functions do. So my compare veggie function is going to compare the cost of 2 vegetables and display the results. It's going to use the overloaded less than operator function. So let's do that one first. All right, so let's see what this function definition looks like. All right, it takes in 2 vegetables. Here I'm doing the overloaded less than operator. So it's going to compare if V1 is less than V2, then it's going to say that V1 is less than the price of V2. So I have to use my accessor function to get the name of the vegetable, my accessor function to get the price. But I don't have to use any kind of accessor function because this is a friend function. Go back. This is where I'm testing my overloaded less than operator. So let's test and make sure this works as expected. Oops, I have to uncomment it. So I go here in I just need to select 3 in my options. When I select 3, I have 2 veggies. So I'm going to see which one is cheaper. So if I pick 111 and 222, it should tell me that carrots are cheaper than spinach. 111 and 222. It says the carrot price is less than the spinach price. If I pick uh, Brussels sprouts and spinach, it's going to say spinach is less than Brussels sprouts. Okay, so that is working as expected. I just have to do one more function. That is the purchase function. So let's look at the prototype. I called it a purchase function, but you're not really making a purchase. You're actually calculating and displaying the profit. So you're going to get uh, a vegetable. You're going to display the vegetable. You're going to ask for the number of pounds, and then you're going to use the member function to calculate and display the profit. So let's get that code. Remember to make things, it's easier if you make things as simple as possible. The purpose of this assignment, again, is not to do things that are super complicated, but to understand how to organize code, use member functions, prototypes, use friend functions, manage a list of objects. So keep in mind the purpose of this assignment. The more complicated you make your options, the more, the more the more you're going to focus on your complicated option and the less you're going to focus on, the important aspects that we're trying to cover in this assignment. Okay, so here what I'm doing here is I'm asking for a number of pounds. I guess the pounds are an integer, but let me check uh, my calculate profit function. Maybe I haven't my calculate profit function takes in a double. So I should fix that and change this should be a double because I should be passing a double there. I'm not sure why this is declared as an integer. So the number of pounds, I'm going to have the user enter the number of pounds. I'm displaying the vegetable. They already picked that vegetable. I get the number of pounds. This is a member function. So it's on that vegetable, V1, whichever one they selected, I call the calculate profit function. I pass it the number of pounds. The calculate profit is going to return a double, and then I'm going to print that profit onto the screen. So if you take a look at the calculate profit function, it just takes in a number of pounds but as a double and calculates and returns that profit. So let's see if this works as expected. All right, this is option 5. All right, first I need to I'm going to pick Brussels sprouts. And now it's not working. And I know why it's not working because I didn't call the function. So if I go to my process selection function definition here, on option number 5, here, I'm not calling that function. So everything seems to be working as expected, but I have forgot to uh, call the function. So now I need to call the purchase function so we could trace what's happening. So we're here in our main function. We get our choice. The user picks choice number 5. We pass the list. We pass the count of items over to the process selection function. We go down here to the process selection function. Our choice is 5, so we're going to go down here. The choice is 5. That means we're going to calculate the profit. We're going to declare one object of type vegetable. We're going to have the ID. We're going to call this function select veggie ID and then it's going to return an ID. So let's go to the select veggie ID function. The select veggie ID function is going to display the list, have the user enter the ID, get the ID, and return that ID. And then that integer ID that gets returned is going to be back here. We come back where we started, and that was the function call to select veggie ID. Then we take that ID that we got, we print it onto the screen, and then we pass that ID, the count, and the list to the find the selected veggie. So now we're going to go to the find the selected veggie function. So here's the find the selected veggie function, and we're going to go here, search through it. If we find a match, we're going to return that veggie. If we do not find a match, we're going to return the veggie that is in the front of the list. The return type is of type vegetable. So now once we find the selected veggie, that veggie is going to be assigned here. So now we have that veggie. So say it's Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts has all of the information that goes along with Brussels sprouts. So we're going to pass Brussels sprouts to our purchase function. Our purchase function is going to make a copy of that vegetable, pass by value. It's going to ask the user for the number of pounds. It's going to display Brussels sprouts information. It's going to get the number of pounds from the user. Then it's going to use my member function to calculate the profit, and that's going to return the profit, and then it's going to print it onto the screen. So all of that's going to happen while it's executing. It's going to jump from function to function. So let's give it a try. All right, I pick number 5. I pick my 333, which is my Brussels sprouts. So now it's found the Brussels sprouts. It says, how many pounds do I want? I want 5 pounds of Brussels sprouts. So the profit with 5 pounds of Brussels sprouts will be $5.50. So obviously, it's better to put more information onto the screen than that, but if you're just testing to make sure everything works as expected, you just need to give yourself some feedback. And then, if I was going through and I wanted to, finalize this project, I might add a little more feedback to the user. So I hope this helps you, and I hope you have fun doing this assignment.